On November 1st, 2025, all eyes turn to Del Mar, where the $2 million Breeders Cup Juvenile at 1 1/16 miles will decide the true king of the 2-year-old colts and geldings. This race isn't just about juvenile glory. It's the ultimate launchpad for Triple Crown dreams, with past champions often shaping the road to the Kentucky Derby. This year's renewal is one of the deepest and most competitive in recent memory, featuring undefeated stars, million-dollar purchases, and late-developing dark horses ready to shock the field. The division has been defined by dominance in 3 key preps: the Hopeful at Saratoga, the Del Mar Futurity, and the Breeders Futurity at Keeneland, with regional stars clashing head-to-head for the first time. Add in elite trainers like Baffert, Pletcher, Cassie, and Asmussen, and you have the perfect recipe for fireworks at Del Mar. So, who will rise from promise to legend on racing's biggest juvenile stage? Let's count down the top 10 contenders and find out. At number 1, we have the powerhouse gray colt Ted Noffey, the clear-cut leader of the 2025 juvenile division. Unbeaten in 3 starts, Ted Noffey has already stamped himself as the horse every rival will have to reckon with in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. His resume sparkles with back-to-back Grade 1 victories, including the prestigious Hopeful Stakes at Saratoga and the Claiborne Breeders Futurity at Keeneland. Foaled in January 2023, this into mischief colt out of a mare by Old Fashioned combines raw speed with proven stamina, a hallmark of the sire's most elite progeny. Purchased for $650,000 at the Keeneland September yearling sale, he was identified early as a potential star, and his performances have lived up to that billing. His maiden victory at Saratoga was professional, but it was the Hopeful Stakes that announced him as something special, where he showed dazzling acceleration and left his rivals reeling. The most impressive performance came next, when he handled the 2-turn challenge in the Breeders' Futurity with ease, stopping the clock in 1:43.98 while registering a 1:23 speed figure, the highest of the meet. That race, run at the same distance as the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, erased any lingering doubts about his ability to carry speed beyond sprint distances. Trainer Todd Pletcher has expertly managed his progression, spacing out races and preparing him for the championship test at Del Mar. With his perfect record, Grade 1 credentials, and elite pedigree, Ted Noffey stands out not just as the favorite, but as the measuring stick for the entire field. Coming in at number 2 is Brant, the West Coast sensation and undefeated son of Gunrunner. Trained by Hall of Famer Bob Baffert, Brant has quickly emerged as the pride of California racing, capturing 2 starts in dominant fashion, including the coveted Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity. Out of the Liam's Matt Mayer Tynan, Brant possesses both the bloodlines and the brilliance to excel at the highest level. His maiden victory was eye-catching, producing a monster Equibase speed figure 102, one of the fastest among all juveniles this year. That number alone marked him as an elite talent, but his Futurity triumph confirmed his standing as a true divisional threat. In that race, Brant showed explosive acceleration and professional poise, handing his trainer a record-extending 19th victory in the Del Mar Futurity. The son of Gunrunner, himself a Breeders' Cup Classic champion, brings a pedigree that promises continued improvement with distance. The looming question is whether his blistering early speed can stretch effectively over 1 1/16 miles against the likes of Ted Noffey. His style suggests he will attempt to control the pace and test others to catch him, a strategy that has paid off consistently for Baffert's top juveniles over the years. What sets Brant apart is not only his raw talent, but also the aura of dominance he carries from the California circuit, which has historically produced major Breeders' Cup juvenile contenders. His perfect record, high cruising speed, and proven Grade 1 class make him the most dangerous West Coast challenger in this year's field. Number 3, we feature Ewing, the undefeated Saratoga standout with a pedigree rooted in champions. This striking colt by Nick's Go out of the Indian Charlie mare, Sassy Ali Joy, has quickly built a reputation as one of the East Coast's most promising juveniles. With 2 wins from 2 starts and $165,000 in earnings, Ewing has already delivered on the high expectations that came with his $585,000 purchase price as a 2-year-old in training. His crowning moment came in the Grade 2 Saratoga Special Stakes, where he broke sharply, set a demanding pace, and bravely turned back the challenge of Obliteration, one of the division's most respected stakes winners. That wire-to-wire performance showed both grit and class, traits essential for success on the big stage. Trained by Mark Cassie, Ewing carries a pedigree filled with depth, tracing back to the great Banshee Breeze, which suggests he has both the durability and the quality to keep improving. His professionalism in handling pressure at Saratoga, a venue known for producing championship-caliber runners, marks him as a horse of serious consequence. What makes Ewing especially dangerous is his ability to dictate terms on the front end, forcing his rivals to adapt to his rhythm. He has yet to be headed in a race, a testament to his natural speed and competitive edge. While he lacks a Grade 1 victory so far, his G2 triumph against Proven Stakes Company makes him one of the most legitimate challengers to the top tier. At number 4, we find Desert Gate, a colt whose profile shines with balance between raw speed and stamina-infused pedigree. This chestnut son of Omaha Beach out of the Curlin mare Theogony brings together a genetic formula designed for success at the classic distances. Desert Gate has already compiled a record of 4 starts with 2 victories and 2 runner-up finishes, amassing earnings of $246,000 in the process. His debut at Santa Anita in June was an impressive display of early talent, scoring with a swift 114 speed figure over 5 furlongs. That effort set the stage for his stakes campaign, and he quickly validated expectations by dominating the Grade 3 Best Pal Stakes at Del Mar, drawing away from rivals with authority. In both subsequent appearances against elite competition, Desert Gate proved he belonged among the best. He finished a determined second to Brant in the Grade 1 Del Mar Futurity, registering a 116 figure, before stepping up again to Route Company in the Grade 1 American Pharaoh, where he chased Intrepido home, just a length behind with a 113 figure. What makes Desert Gate so compelling is how seamlessly he has transitioned from sprints to 2 turns, suggesting untapped potential as distances increase. The Omaha Beach Curlin Cross is already generating buzz for producing durable, high-class juveniles, and Desert Gate looks to be the flag bearer of that trend. Trained with patience and precision, he has consistently delivered competitive performances against the very top tier without showing signs of regression. His ability to press the pace or stalk makes him versatile, and his pedigree suggests further improvement as he matures. At number 5, we spotlight Butane, the million-dollar colt whose connections have spared no expense to secure a potential star. Purchased for $1.15 million at the OBS 2-year-olds in training sale, this chestnut son of Tiz the Law represents both high expectations and lofty potential. Racing for Zaydon Racing Stables under the guidance of Bob Baffert, Butane has made just 2 starts. But each effort suggests he is being carefully developed with an eye on peaking in the fall. His debut was a stylish maiden win, confirming his talent and professional demeanor. That victory was enough to launch him straight into Grade 1 company, where he faced the division leader Ted Noffey in the Hopeful Stakes. Despite being lightly raced, Butane acquitted himself admirably, finishing second behind the undefeated favorite while fending off other seasoned rivals. His current career earnings sit at $108,000, and while his highest recorded speed figure of 88 lags behind the elite marks posted by rivals. Like Ted Noffey and Brant, the gap is more a reflection of inexperience than limitation. What sets Butane apart is the immense belief placed in him by his connections, who are betting on his pedigree, physical presence, and developmental upside to close that figure gap. As a son of Tiz the Law, Butane carries the blood of a Belmont Stakes and Travers winner, suggesting stamina and staying power as he stretches out in distance. Baffert's track record with high-priced juveniles only bolsters confidence that Butane is being primed for a major breakout performance. While he may not yet have the polished resume of the top contenders, his combination of elite sales price, strong ownership, and patient handling makes him a live threat in the juvenile. At number 6 stands Obliteration, the colt who once looked like the most feared sprinter in the division. By sheer power and dominance, he exploded onto the juvenile scene with a sensational 10.5-length victory in the Grade 3 Sanford Stakes at Saratoga, posting a blistering 108 speed figure that turned heads nationwide. That runaway win stamped him as a leading Breeders' Cup Juvenile candidate early in the season, especially given his wire-to-wire style and unrelenting pace. However, subsequent races have raised questions about his long-term trajectory. In the Grade 2 Saratoga Special, Obliteration set the pace but could not hold off Ewing, settling for second while still running a commendable 98 figure. That performance revealed that while he is brilliant, he may be vulnerable when pressed by top-class rivals. His connections then experimented with a turf campaign, sending him to Kentucky Downs and Keeneland, where he finished second in both the Kentucky Downs Juvenile Sprint and the Indian Summer Stakes. Those efforts, though competitive, suggested a potential ceiling on dirt when facing the very best at extended distances. With 2 wins and 3 runner-up finishes from 5 starts, he has nonetheless amassed a strong $455,800 bankroll, proving his consistency at stakes level. The debate now is whether obliteration should return to dirt or continue exploring turf opportunities. If his connections opt to bring him back for the juvenile, his raw speed ensures he will play a role in the race's complexion. At number 7, we introduce Curtain Call, a steadily progressing colt who may be peaking at just the right time. This dark bay son of Tiz the Law, trained by Mark Cassie for West Point Thoroughbreds, embodies the profile of a juvenile developing strength and class with every start. His career began with a promising second at Churchill Downs, behind the future Sanford winner Obliteration, a race that quickly hinted at his ability to compete with elite peers. Just a month later, Curtain Call stamped himself as a legitimate talent when he dominated a Saratoga maiden specialweight, drawing clear with a 113 speed figure that earned him the coveted TDN Rising Star designation. That recognition positioned him among the most talked about 2-year-olds on the New York circuit, a label usually reserved for horses with championship-level potential. His next start came in the Grade 1 Hopeful Stakes, where he faced divisional powerhouse Ted Noffey. Despite the tough assignment, Curtain Call finished a strong third with a 116 figure, proving he belongs at the upper levels of the juvenile division. Though his Champagne Stakes run produced only a 6th-place finish, the 100 figure there demonstrated he is capable of handling a 1-mile test in graded company. With 1 win, 1 second, and 1 third in 4 career starts, and earnings of $108,000, Curtain Call's resume suggests a colt still climbing the ladder. His sire, Tiz the Law, imparts stamina and resilience, while his racing style, a powerful late kick, makes him a dangerous closer in a field loaded with early speed. Number 8, we have It's Our Time, the one-start wonder whose raw brilliance has instantly thrust him into the Breeders' Cup conversation. A $425,000 yearling purchase by Not This Time out of the stakes-winning mare Shea D. Summer. This colt's career has been brief but dazzling. On August 16th at Saratoga, he made his debut in a maiden special weight and produced a jaw-dropping 17 3/4 length victory, crossing the wire in 1 minute 15.63 for 6.5 furlongs. The margin of victory, paired with a stratospheric 129 speed figure, was one of the most dominant juvenile performances of the year across North America. Such an emphatic win instantly branded him as a potential superstar, with many handicappers suggesting that his debut figure rivaled or exceeded those of established graded stakes winners. Trainer Connections chose to test that brilliance at the highest level, entering him in the Grade 1 Champagne Stakes at Aqueduct. Though he finished 4th against the more experienced Napoleon Solo and Talkin, his 114 figure in defeat demonstrated that his maiden romp was no fluke. With 1 win from 2 starts and earnings of $85,000, It's Our Time remains lightly raced but loaded with potential. His sire, Not This Time, has emerged as one of the most reliable juvenile influences, producing both precocious speedsters and classic distance types, while his dam's proven stakes record adds another layer of credibility. The unanswered question is whether It's Our Time can stretch out to 1 1/16 miles against battle-tested rivals. At number 9 sits Blackout Time, a late-developing colt whose steady rise through the ranks reflects both stamina and untapped potential. Trained by Kenneth McPeak and sired by Not This Time, he comes from an accomplished female line through Beauty Parlor, a group winner whose pedigree includes stamina influences like Elusive Quality and Sadler's Wells. With 3 starts, Blackout Time has already shown remarkable consistency, 1 win and 2 runner-up finishes, compiling $210,000 in earnings. His debut at Churchill Downs in late June saw him chase home the speedy Dazzle Doro, earning a solid 100 figure. Just weeks later at Ellis Park, he stretched out to a mile and broke his maiden in style with a 118 figure, stamping himself as a potential route specialist. His real coming-out party, however, was the Grade 1 Breeders Futurity at Keeneland, where he finished second to the undefeated Ted Noffey with a 119 figure, one of the strongest performances in the entire juvenile division. That effort validated his class against the very best and showed that he can sustain his run around 2 turns. Despite this, trainer McPeak has hinted that Blackout Time may bypass the Breeders' Cup Juvenile in favor of the Kentucky Jockey Club Stakes later in the fall, suggesting the team may prefer a slower build toward the 2026 Kentucky Derby Trail. While this cautious approach might rule him out of juvenile contention, his Futurity runner-up finish proves he belongs in the conversation. At number 10, we meet Romeo, the $1 million-plus sales sensation whose valuation alone makes him one of the most fascinating juveniles of 2025. This dark bay colt by Honor AP out of the not-for-love mare Fancy Love has already been the subject of blockbuster transactions. After capturing the listed Bashford Manor Stakes at Churchill Downs in stakes record time of 1:08.61, he was sold for a staggering $1.7 million at the Fasig-Tipton Horses of Racing Age sale, the highest price tag among this year's Breeders' Cup Juvenile prospects. That sale was a ringing endorsement of his latent potential, especially considering his pedigree traces to top runners like Champion Midshipman and Grade 1 star Frosted. Romeo began his career with a maiden win at Laurel, followed by a third in the Tremont, before stamping himself as a stakes-quality runner in the Bashford Manor. Transferred to Hall of Fame trainer Steve Asmussen, he now races for Mahmoud Mooney, whose investment speaks volumes about their confidence in the colt's future. While his most recent effort in the Grade 1 Hopeful resulted in a 6th-place finish behind Ted Noffey. And that wraps up our breakdown of the expected contenders for the 2025 Breeders' Cup Juvenile. This year's field is packed with potential future stars, and the road to Del Mar promises plenty of drama and excitement. Stay tuned as these juveniles continue to develop and new updates reshape the division picture. For the latest updates, analysis, and race previews, make sure you don't miss our upcoming videos. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more horse racing content. Thanks for watching.